So how did you become homeless?
Well, the partner I was with, his parents decided they were going to sell a house and throw us out on the streets. That was about it. We started doing, we were staying at people's houses and everything, and then I found out I was pregnant, and the house that we were staying at, my partner caused a lot of drama and a lot of crap where we got kicked out. The cops were called, and the next day we were pretty much removed from the property. So from there, camping, from campsites to Beacon Hill Park to wherever we could find that we could just sleep and set up a tent. Social services didn't really help out as much as we thought they would. Like, they paid for a couple campsites, but they wouldn't put us up in a hotel. They said go to shelters. And being pregnant and having to stay at a shelter where a lot of drug addicts and drugs are going around isn't a very good place to be while being pregnant. So.
Did you struggle with any addictions?
I was smoking marijuana while being pregnant and on the streets because I am a smoker, but my partner wouldn't let me smoke. So every time we'd get, like, I'd buy a smoke or get a smoke, he'd sell it off to go towards the marijuana habit and everything, which was really hard because, you know, we needed more food than we needed marijuana. Places like shelters where you could go and eat, they had specific times that you had to be there, and the amount, like, you were only allowed to eat like one plate at a time, like one plate. After that you weren't allowed to have anything else to eat. So you had to find other forms of food, like panhandling to make enough money for food, and marijuana was a big key thing. So.
Tell us about your experience panhandling.
Rough, really, really rough. People were abusive, they'd scream, they'd make comments like get a job and all that, and being 8.5 months pregnant, like being pregnant at all, it's kind of difficult. Nobody's going to want to hire you if you're pregnant and almost due to have a baby, because you're going to start work and then they're going to be like, oh, and also with another thing about that is getting a job and being homeless, you need an address and a number and everything, or you don't get a check. So, you know, you can't put really down somebody's address because it didn't work like that.
Was there any extra supports because you were pregnant and on the street?
Nope. No, not really. Other than, like, I went to a Best Babies program, but my partner didn't like it.
So when did you finally get somewhere to stay?
I think it was about either November or October of 2009, 2010, I guess.
And what did that look like?
It was a fight and a half to get to go even look at the apartment because my ex was being a child and beating me. And a cat. Beat me and a cat pretty bad. I was slammed into into like trees and the ground, rocks. I've got really bad back problems now because of it, and so it was hard, but we got into it, and then after getting into it I thought everything would change, things would get better, and it didn't. It just got worse and worse and worse, and then to the point where he had to be removed by the police, and then he got arrested, and that was it. I moved in with my parents and had a beautiful baby girl, and since then everything's been great.
So what was the hardest part of being homeless?
Not knowing where you're going to get your next meal or where you're going to stay, having to be there. Like, we had really bad lice problems. Like, my partner didn't want to clean. He didn't want to have showers. He smelled. We both smelled because we didn't have anywhere to have proper dental hygiene or anything. Like, it was hard to go into a doctor's office in clothes that you've been wearing for like a week to 2 weeks straight without having to do laundry.
Is there anything you can think of that would have helped?
More support, like from like social services helping you out with like a hotel, or, you know, like my partner had to sell marijuana in order to help us get a hotel. Like it.
So if you could send a message to somebody in your position back then, what would you say?
Stay away from boys who hit you. You know, see the warning signs before it gets worse. Because girls, you know, they might seem nice and nice and polite and all young and good looking and everything, but you got to be careful of what you do.